number per Pakistani. What we're going to show you right now perhaps somewhere echoes this. Listen in to what a former Chief Minister of Maharashtra and a Congress veteran leader has to say. He has claimed that Bharat was defeated in Operation Sindoor. Shocking claim coming on Vijay Divas. Celebrating the victory in 1971. Prithviraj Chavan countering the Air Force, saying the forces were defeated and the aircraft was shot down. And for the first half an hour of Operation Sindoor, our aircraft couldn't take off and that we lost aircraft. And later on, somewhere during the conversation, the question being asked, why do we even need so much of an army or a territorial force to guard our borders? Listen in.
7 तारखेला जे हवाई युद्ध अर्ध्या तासात झालं त्यामध्ये आपला टोटल पराभव झाला हे कोणी मान्य करो अगर न करो आणि त्यामुळे त्या दिवशी भारताची जी विमानं पडली त्या दिवशी सगळा भारताचा एअरफोर्स हा ग्राउंड झाला आणि त्यानंतर एकही विमान उडलं नाही. पण कुठेही विमान उडलं की पाकिस्तानचं तुमचं विमान ग्वाल्हेर असेल किंवा भटिंडा असेल किंवा सिरसा असेल तिथं वाढायची शक्यता असल्यामुळं आपलं कंप्लीट एअरफोर्स ग्राउंड झालं. सिंदूरमध्ये पाहिलं की मिलिटरीची 1 किलोमीटर सुद्धा कुठं हालचाल झाली नाही. ते 2-3 दिवस झालं ते फक्त हवाई युद्ध झालं, मिसाईल युद्ध झालं. आता पुढची युद्ध तशीच होणार आहेत. मग आपल्याला 12 लाख आर्मी ठेवायची काय गरज आहे का? मग त्यांच्याकडे दुसरं काहीतरी काम करून घेऊ आपण.
Pradeep Bhandari is with us. We'll play out that soundbite again. It's in Marathi, but what he's saying is on that date, on the date of Operation Sindoor, when Bharatiya forces went ahead and demolished within less than 10 minutes 10 different terror identities of infrastructure of over in Pakistan. Prithviraj Chavan claims our aircraft could not even take off because had they taken off, they would have been shot down. And then he turns around and says, what's the point of even having such a big force? Pradeep Bhandari of the BJP with us. We had an opposition voice who was supposed to join us on the MGNREGA debate, but refuses to speak on this. So we will try and get voices or reactions from the opposition on whether or not the Congress actually subscribes to this argument or this statement by Mr. Prithviraj Chavan. We are also trying, viewers, as we try and open this conversation with Mr. Pradeep Bhandari, to try and see if we can connect with Mr. Prithviraj Chavan and ask him on what basis has he made this statement, and that too on Vijay Divas, what makes him say what he is saying. Right, Pradeep Bhandari, your thoughts?
Well, Anandji, it is anti-national of the Congress to say this because there are 3 interpretations of it. A, the Congress party believes in open borders, clearly indicating their protection to illegal infiltration, because please note that the Congress party has also opposed the SIR exercise. One of its aim is to remove the illegal infiltrators. B, the Congress party mocks India's success in Operation Sindoor and Operation Mahadev, because the world acknowledges that it were the Indian forces which gave Pakistan a befitting reply. And 3, the Congress party here says, why do we need an army? So if a political party which ruled this country for at least 60 to 70 years has the idea and a thought that why do we need an army, bear apart the number, I think it is extremely dangerous. And as the Honorable Prime Minister said, that this exact thinking of the Congress party is not of a political opponent, but it is exactly of Muslim League Maoiwadi Congress, because the stand of the Congress has been consistent. And maybe as we are celebrating Vijay Divas today, let us not forget that this is the same thinking in the Congress party which percolated when India did not attack Pakistan after 26/11, where India should have given a befitting reply, but the political will under Sonia Gandhi prevented India from giving a befitting reply. And even in Operation Vijay Divas, please note what R.N. Kao, then advisor to Indira Gandhi, had said, that we had everything on our favor. We could have snatched a part of Pakistan, illegally occupied part of Jammu and Kashmir from Pakistan, but Indira Gandhi succumbed and did not had a good deal. So our forces achieved history in Operation Vijay on Vijay Divas, but unfortunately since then to now the Congress party's stand has been very weak on national security.
The other part is that does Mr. Prithviraj Chavan say that our forces are lying? The armed forces chiefs, the CDS, the government, the foreign minister, the Raksha Mantri, they are all nothing but liars. And can he provide one naya paisa of proof for the claims that he is making that only compromise Bharat's position and Bharat's victory? Syed Asad Abbas, namaste.
Namaste, Anand Bhai. Firstly, I absolutely do not think so. This is the Congress party stand. I think Mr. Prithviraj Chavan has stepped out of bounds, out of line to make such a gregarious statement. I believe that Rahul Gandhi, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, ICC president, was categorically clear, and he stated that we stand with the country, we stand with the national party, which is the ruling dispensation, BJP, when it comes to the Operation Sindoor. Also, let us understand that my dear friend Pradeep Bhandari of the Bharatiya Janata Party raising questions on Congress's patriotism is actually uncalled for. Why? Because let us understand that the Congress party leaders like Indira Gandhi lost life for this country. Leaders like Rajiv Gandhi lost life for this country. So therefore, also it is a party which has the highest number of freedom fighters fighting for our beautiful country. So therefore, for one person's opinion or his words, that cannot be entitled as the Congress party's opinion. So therefore, I think Pradeep Bhai, I think you should take back your statement calling Congress party as Maowadi and so on and so forth. I think it's unsuitable, uncalled for a party which has been a grand old party of India and also which has had several freedom fighters.
For Pradeep Bhandari or anybody else to take back their statement, let the Congress sack Mr. Prithviraj Chavan unceremoniously, immediately, for life out of the Congress party. He's a former Maharashtra Chief Minister. Please understand
Indeed,
this.
indeed.
No, you have to sir, there are layers to this this statement that Mr. Prithviraj Chavan has made. I have immense respect for him, or I had immense respect for him till the time he made this statement. Let us say, for notwithstanding whatever he had to say, there was even one naya paisa of truth in what he is trying to say. Would you as a Bharatiya ever say this on a public platform to say that Bharat was defeated? Would you as a Bharatiya compromise Bharat's position on Operation Sindoor? Would you as someone who sworn on the Constitution to protect the interests of the people of the country, do a disservice to the soldiers of this country, to the armed forces of the country? Would you as a Bharatiya ever sit down and say that for half an hour we were defeated? And this is on the night when Bharat demolished the enemy's terror infrastructure. This is on a night.
I agree with you on this front, sir.
Operation Sindoor is on pause, but in 90 hours, not only was their terror infrastructure demolished, but 11 of their air bases were also smashed. Chun ke positions that we wanted. Now, would you as a Bharatiya, would you as a Congress party member, would you as an individual in public life ever make an utterance like this?
As a matter of fact, this is against your dharma, Anand Saab. I believe Prithviraj Chavan ji has gone against our dharma. This is Ma Bharati, this is Mother Earth for us. Our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, "Hubbul Watan, live for your country, your love for your country, and your patriotism towards your country." My religion would disown me if I make such statements. So therefore, I believe that Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, who's been the former chief minister, must be a lot more careful and liable to his statements. There is a saying that कोई भी बोले कुछ नहीं हिले, but कोई बादशाह बोले या कोई खिंती आदमी बोले पूरा मुल्क हिले. So therefore, when he's been a former chief minister, he needs to weigh every word of his. To me as a Bharatiya, it hurts me.
He has further added exact position like Jawaharlal Nehru, who is going to come and attack us. So let's give off our lands, let's shut down our ordnance factories, and we don't even need an army. Now that's the mindset that this person or this gentleman, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, has actually reflected today. Lieutenant General D.B. Pandey is also joining us, just playing out the two sound bites that we have with us here on the right stand. Can we just play that out again, please?
सात तारखेला जे हवाई युद्ध अर्ध्या तासात झालं त्यामध्ये आपला टोटल पराभव झाला हे कोणी मान्य करो वगैरे न करो. आणि त्यामुळे त्या दिवशी भारताची जी विमानं पाडली त्या दिवशी सगळा भारताचा एअरफोर्स हा ग्राउंड झाला. त्यानंतर एकही विमान उडलं नाही. पण कुठेही विमान उडलं की पाकिस्तानचं तुमचं विमान ग्वाल्हेर असेल किंवा भटिंडा असेल किंवा सिरसा असेल तिथं वाढायची शक्यता असल्यामुळं आपलं कम्प्लीट एअरफोर्स ग्राउंड झालं. सिंदूरमध्ये पाहिलं की मिलिटरीची एक किलोमीटर सुद्धा कुठं हालचाल झाली नाही. ते 2-3 दिवस झालं ते फक्त हवाई युद्ध झालं, मिसाईल युद्ध झालं. आता पुढची युद्ध तशीच होणार आहेत. मग आपल्याला 12 लाख आर्मी ठेवायची काय गरज आहे का? मग त्यांच्याकडे दुसरं काहीतरी काम करून घेऊ आपण.
General Pandey, two aspects. First, in Marathi, Prithviraj Chavan says that on 7th May, the air fight that happened, our aircrafts didn't even take off. They couldn't have taken off. Had would have taken off, they would have been smashed or they would have been blown away. We lost aircrafts too and we were totally defeated. That's one point. The second thing he says, recently we saw during Operation Sindoor, there was not even a 1 kilometer movement of the military. Whatever happened over 2 or 3 days was only an aerial war and missile warfare. In the future too, wars will be fought in the same way. In such a situation, do we really need to maintain an army of 12 lakh soldiers or can we make them do some other work?
Yeah, so Anand, I'm actually terribly shocked for something coming from a person he's a top leader of a political party. And we got to one political analyst and a political representative. I'll not go into the political realm. But it is clearly a mindset reflecting that possibly he's out of tune of what is happening and what is reflected. I'll answer your both questions in 2 parts, and unfortunately, nobody in uniform today can possibly come out and contest. And let me give it out as much as possible with knowledge I have, having been on front at many times, and you know very well my credentials. Firstly, after the Pahalgam attack, what was the mission? The mission was laid down very clearly and emphatic by the political dispensation of the day. To destroy the terrorists, whatever systems were behind. We scaled it up and went into Pak Punjab. Besides, we were going to POJK. We destroyed the Indian armed forces. I will not like to decouple, but yes, the first this thing was what is known to people was done by the Air Force on 2 of them, that is in Pak Punjab. They virtually decimated it, and we are not the ones who are getting the proofs. The proofs are being given by the international satellite systems, information channels, the Pakistanis themselves. And I wish Chavanji needs to actually go out and watch what the Pakistanis are saying about what was achieved. And oh, by the way, within 4 days, the Pakistani top hierarchy establishment has said that we keeled over, we kneeled over, we went begging to the US president to stop the war, and the president and his team is saying as much, that they said it is a bilateral issue and well, Indians aren't going to help out by talking to them, by Americans talking to them, you need to speak to themselves. And all these things have been recorded, told as many times, not by us, but the world media, world leadership, and everybody has acknowledged it. What does he want? What the people of India, not the people of India, the people of world wanted a punishment being meted out to Pakistani terror camps or terrorist camps was achieved. Now, after 24-hour cycle, when I still remember all the feedbacks, and I came to your channel a couple of times on that period, that our government kept on saying that we need to punish the terrorists. We don't want to scale up. But you know, the Pakistanis wanted, in their mindset, they believed they can keep on scaling up. Once they kept on scaling up, they were smashed to smithereens on the 11th, on the 10th night. And that has been acknowledged by everybody. Those videos have come to you, Indian channels, much later than what the international channels showcased. And that is how emphatic. First was a terror strike, which was carried, anti-terror strikes were carried out. A military come political missions were achieved. And thereafter they wanted to scale up to a military level strikes. That military superiority was absolutely established, overwhelming, clearly, right? There was just no response after that 25 minutes that Indian armed forces sang the dance of death over the Pakistani airspace. Why does he forget these two things? Now, coming on to very clearly, let me just talk about this 12 lakh Indian army talking of, right? This 12 lakh Indian army is the one which is actually protecting them, people like them, from the terror strikes happening in the hinterland. This 12 lakh army has ensured that Jammu Kashmir continues to remain the part of Indian nation, and we are looking beyond to take over POJK in some time on frame. This 12 lakh Indian army is the one which is looking after Northeast, every troubled region, with Chavanji and his ilk, every time they have failed to control. This is the Indian army which steps in, be it on the border, be it with the Chinese, be it with Pakistan, be it with Bangladesh, with any other country. And oh, by the way, they are the most respected Indian armed forces, Indian army, world over. Israelis, Americans, Russians, Chinese, everybody wants to come out and actually have a picture taken with us. And coming on a day of Vijay Divas, today is a day when Indian army went out, Indian armed forces went out, 93,000 surrender was taken. This is a world record of sorts in the modern day history in last 1 century. Nowhere any country has surrendered 93,000 soldiers in one go. Is he forgetting about Kargil conflict, in which 540 plus officers, soldiers died on the icy heights? Chavanji has not even walked at 16,000. My eyes are actually burning today by listening to him. Right? And I can assure you, there are 12 lakh soldiers who will be burnt like hell to listen to his statements. I'm not looking at the political part. As an individual, he should have a shame. I have served 7 tenures in those altitude and glacier, saving this country from the outside threat. I've served in Kashmir. We all have served in Kashmir, saving this country from the wrath which comes out from a revisionist power outside. And lastly, let me find out about Indian Army's contribution in Operation Sindoor. 2 places were attacked by Indian Air Force. What we don't talk of, 9 places which are blown to smithereens, right? More than 100 Pakistani, not only terrorists, Pakistani soldiers and officers were killed, right? By the Indian Army, those guns which are booming across the LC. Unfortunately, we don't talk about it much, right? And that is where possibly I feel that we need to rub the nose of these people and the proof which comes out. And I really hope that I get an opportunity to write a book on it, and I'll endorse a personal copy to Chavanji to tell him that what 12 lakh people have been doing even during Operation Sindoor, right? I'm sorry, I'm slightly emotional today. It irks me that today on Vijay Divas, where the entire country, I am swarmed on the social media from Generation C, talking about how proud they feel. This one man is out of sync with the country, what the country believes and wants to believe.
No, you've spoken from the heart, and but you've spoken a lot of sense, General Pandey, and we totally share your sentiment, and we understand how irked you'd be. By the time you complete your book, I'd urge Prithviraj Chavan to also read General Pandey's predecessor at 15 Corps, Lieutenant General KDS Dhillon or Tiny Dhillon's Op Sindoor, because that's where it highlights the untold or the unsaid parts of what the armed forces did to protect our borders and to keep the Pakistani army at bay, and also to teach them a lesson. They've cleaned up so many of those camps, and also from where, who do you think blew up the places from where they were launching their drones and the launch pads of the drones, and also the terrorists that they were sending along the LC or in the POJK region? It was the Indian Army. So for Prithviraj Chavan to make these statements, it's quite shocking. But there seems to be an agenda. It cannot be that someone like Mr. Prithviraj Chavan could not use his mind to try and say that, oh my God, how can I make such an utterance? Somebody has colored his perception, or somebody has perhaps put a gun to his head and said, you have to say these things. Otherwise, your reason for existence is going to be under question mark, Pradeep Bhandari. Where is the Congress party's reaction so far? It's nearly half an hour since Mr. Chavan's utterances have come out across on the media. There's no reaction from the Congress party. There is no condemnation of his statement, and there is no sacking of him from primary Congress membership.
Well, Anandji, he will not be sacked, he will be promoted. And I respect the passion of General D.P. Pandey, and all of us admire him for his national service. But what I believe here is that Mr. Chauhan is making the statement because his boss Rahul Gandhi gets happy by such statements, because it is Mr. Rahul Gandhi who during Operation Sindoor had asked, Hindustan ke kitne jets gire? And you did not, when the top leadership of the Congress party makes such a statement, it was Rahul Gandhi who, as per a US cable, when the Congress was in power, said that Hindu extremists are bigger threat to this country than Lashkar-e-Taiba. And I will tell you the context of this. If you recall the Asia Power Index, after the Operation Sindoor, India has reached as one of the top nations as per the Asia Power Index on military strength. So when the entire world knows that India's military strength, army strength, capability is second to none, you have the Congress leader on the instructions of Rahul Gandhi making a statement which he also knows will be used by Pakistan on a global forum. But I ask you here, if you recall the press conferences of the Pakistani ISI and DGMO, they had used a Congress party's statements as matter of evidence in the global war of narrative. And when the Congress knows this, after this also if the Congress leaders continue to do so, this is where I reiterate that Congress today has forgotten to be a political opponent. It has become the opponent of India's unity and integrity. And it is just not limited to this operation. When we had conducted the surgical strike, they had asked ki proof kya hai. When we had done Balakot, he had said ki bhai pedi mare gaye. When has it been even one instance, if you can tell me, in the last 10 years, when the Congress party has stood with the sentiment of the country? And allow me to explain you why. It is the same Congress party which did not celebrate Kargil Vijay Divas from 2004 to 2009. And it is the same Congress party which gifted India's sovereignty at Sharm el-Sheikh to Pakistan. So my charge here is the following, that this is what Congress ideology is. So please do not expect sacking, expect he being restored and promoted, and the people of the country and every patriot should see that this is where the Congress can take the nation for, and wherever we have suffered fault lines on our national security, it is not because of our forces, they have always been courageous and valor, it is because of inept political capabilities of the Congress party whenever it was in power. This is dangerous, what Mr. Chauhan has said, but I am not surprised.
Let's hope that let's hope that the Congress party proves you wrong, Pradeep Bhandari. Proves you wrong, proves the BJP's assumption about the Congress party totally wrong in the next 10 minutes. That's what I'm hoping for. Truly, really, viewers. Yes, Syed
Yes, thank you. Anand bhai, Pradeep Bhandari ji made a statement that this is on the instructions of Rahul Gandhi. I think it's unfair to attribute this to him without having any evidence of proof of the same. Also, as a matter of fact, I'm glad that you mentioned about Pakistan ISI.
Exactly, my dear friend, prove me wrong.
Just allow me to complete my point, my dear friend. Thank you. In the same tablet that you have, I quickly request you to go to any AI platforms that you use or any Google that you use and type Dhruv Saxena, a member of the BJP IT cell who was found to be working for Pakistan's ISI. So therefore, sir, you will not see any
even by our own
working.
Who arrested him? Who arrested him? Who arrested him? Do not pass the buck. Do not deviate. Who arrested him?
Bhandari,
why are you are becoming better than Hafiz Saeed to defend Rahul Gandhi? Is it true or not that Rahul? Is it true or not that Rahul asked Hindustan?
Pradeep Bhandari, please let him complete. Yeah.
Please, Pradeep bhai, allow me to complete my point. Firstly, of course, he was arrested by the NIA, and great job by the National Investigation Agency, and we take pride in that. The fact of the matter is, for members like Dhruv Saxena or any member of the Congress party who makes such statements, I think they should be dealt with iron hands. I completely agree with Anand bhai. The Congress, Indian National Congress, must and should take a statement on this because we might be having difference of opinion or ideologies, but when it comes to nation, when it comes to unity, and that must be sacrosanct, there are no two ways about it. Like a Dhruv Saxena or any member of any party who has interests against the nation or who makes such frivolous, foolish, absolutely catastrophic statements, there needs to be measures.
Stop
also,
comparing a mole
political party
with a man who has been an ex-chief minister of Maharashtra. Do not compare apples and oranges. Sorry. A patriot in me will interrupt you.
10 seconds, my friend. This is not fair. 10
because
seconds.
I was speaking the truth.
I hear you.
He's been the ex-chief minister of Congress party. Stop comparing a mole who was arrested by the NIA under us to what Mr. Chauhan has said as a matter of ideology, which is do not have army on the border.
My dear friend,
and can you tell me once Rahul has tracked any anti-national or such a comment?
One minute.
We do have. When has Rahul done it?
Okay, Syed Asad.
Or any political party, you're a politician. You have absolutely no knowledge of defense or how the army works. Making a foolish statement when we have China
No.
on
Stop
one
acting
end.
like a
No,
kid.
no.
He was
No,
the
Syed Asad Abbas, Syed Asad Abbas, Pradeep Bhandari.
where every intelligence
Sa-
agency
sa-
in Maharashtra used to report to him.
Syed Asad
Stop
Abbas.
acting. Stop giving a very immature argument, Syed.
Syed Asad Abbas and Pradeep Bhandari. You know, Pradeep Bhandari made a point. It is not any regular politician. Prithviraj Chavan is a seasoned politician and a former chief minister of the state of Maharashtra. Images of terror and the terror and the fear that it brings into the minds of people, and this is all park back terror. He has spoken against it in the past. My point is,
Therefore,
sir,
he should not
no,
make
one,
such
one minute.
foolish statements.
No, not even that. The point is, forget Prithviraj Chavan. No Bharatiya will make a statement like this without
I agree
having
with you, sir.
without having any one naya paisa of facts to back. He would not even make, and even if that person had certain facts which point in this direction, no patriot would ever come out and compromise his country's interests on a national, on
Absolutely.
a world platform. So at various levels, this
Wrong.
borders.
This is unforgivable, Anand
This
bhai.
borders on treachery with the country. This borders on treason with the country. But more importantly, if this is the line, like you said, it is wrong to attribute this to the blessings of Mr. Rahul Gandhi or the Congress top leadership. Then the Congress top leadership has to come out and make an example of Mr. Prithviraj Chavan,
Yes.
saying, dare not any other leader ever make an utterance like this against the country, and without sanction. That
I agree with you.
Still waiting on that. Yes, General Pandey.
Yeah, I will move slightly away from the political debate. I just want to make one statement for a lot of people who start believing that with the drone war fighting going out and missiles going to be utilized, and therefore maybe foot soldiers or Indian Army or the regular armed forces not required. I just draw references to Israel and Hamas. Israel, backed up with the best technology behind, continues to fight against Hamas, right? You require boots on the ground. In Russia-Ukraine war, even after 4 years, in spite of drones and missiles, neither of the two countries have actually been subjugated completely. And soldiers on the ground are holding lines and forts wherever they are, while drones keep on doing, they fly up and down and do. So technology is an enabler. It empowers. It achieves to go beyond the realm or achieve something much more. But to start saying that as robots, as technology has come, you don't require Indian Army or Indian Air Force or Indian Navy, and everything can become tech oriented, and oh, by the way, let's sit back and have machines to fight the war. Then possibly we require machines only as political leaders, right? The second thing I think, which I have spoken about on one of your debates, is I'll repeat again. In the national security realm, it is very important that anybody who's likely to be a parliamentary, who's likely to be an assembly representative, needs to be taught about strategic orientation, the challenges, and what national security comprises of. In both the wars which are going on, has any Israeli asked that how many of their drones, missiles, or air jets have fallen down? You start looking and searching for all the 4 countries what losses are, or even what the Americans are. You will find none happening. Nobody is talking like this for their respective countries, saying that the Russians should come out and give numbers that how many Air Force jets of Russian Air Force have fallen down. Nobody talks from his own country about their security forces, because these are external threats which are tackling them, right? There are issues. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, Pradeep Bhandari is showing something to the viewers. Yes, Pradeep Bhandari.
Anandji, recall this is a footage from the parliament. This is Praniti Shinde, again a very senior member of parliament from the Congress party. She called Operation Sindoor a tamasha. Was she sacked by Rahul Gandhi? Can Mr. Syed here, who's giving clean sheet to Rahul Gandhi here, name one leader, whether it is Imran Masood, who said कि भाई Operation Mahadev हुआ ही नहीं हुआ है, वो has he been sacked from the Congress party? Can individuals here tell one leader who has been sacked from the Congress party from making an anti-national statement? Not even one, because it is Rahul Gandhi who believes that Hindu extremists are bigger threat to this country than the likes of terror organizations like Lashkar-e-Taiba. That is the real moot point. I blame Rahul
Allow me
Gandhi
to
and the
make a
Congress
point here,
ideology.
Vijay.
And if Syed can prove me wrong, I am happy to be corrected.
Yes,
Firstly,
yes,
on a
sir.
lighter note, sir, I also have a MacBook and tablets beside me, but I don't believe in show off. I can also show you a couple of statements made by your party
Don't act
leaders.
like a kid
which,
again. Again, you are acting like a
you
kid.
know,
No,
hear me
Syed, don't
out.
act like a kid. It's not about
don't-
showing off, it's showing
no,
evidence.
my
Rahul
dear
only
friend,
believes
don't-
in fake news. You do not have
hear
an
me.
evidence. Show an
Hear me.
evidence.
Hear me.
Show an evidence. Show an evidence.
Okay, let
Don't
me
No, no.
interrupt.
Do not
Don't
do not do
interrupt
whataboutery
like
with
that.
me and do not beat
Hear
around the
me
bush.
out,
Show an
my friend.
evidence. Show me
My
an
friend, the
evidence.
audience-
This
okay.
is about
Audience
nation.
are
It's not about
watching.
BJP or Congress.
My dear friend,
It's about
my
our
dear friend.
country.
Okay,
Don't-
okay.
And country is
Pradeep
above any
Bhandari. So
political
Pradeep
party.
Bhandari's point is very
Please,
simple.
please,
Irrespective of what instrument he was holding, the point is that a Praniti Shinde said something in Parliament and there was no action taken by the Congress party about it. That's the point. So what
Right.
he's saying is repeatedly the Congress party
You should have
leaders-
given people tablets in madrasa, my dear friend Syed Abbas. Things would have improved like anything. You would not
Now,
have
hear
given,
me.
we are
things
veering
like
away.
Vijay.
Now, hear me.
We are
Now, hear
veering
me
away.
out.
We are veering away
Now,
from the discussion. Let's bring it back,
Pradeep,
yeah.
my dear friend, now hear me out. You know, you're so rattled, my friend. You sound like an interrupting kid in a necessary kindergarten, sir. Hear me out like a civil person. Did I interrupt you? No, right? So hear me out like a civil person.
No,
Don't get
I'm
so
not
rattled.
acting like
Don't get so
it
rattled.
boils my heart
Don't
to
get so
see that you are
rattled.
justifying what has
Hear me.
happened. If
Don't
it does
be so
not boil your
rattled.
heart, then you are not
Have
a
some
patriot.
weight. Have some weight.
Like,
Have some ground.
I will be angry.
Hear me out.
I will be
have some
angry
patience.
because you guys are
Kindly
making
be
a mess.
civil. You
You are
exposing yourself by
normalizing
getting
it.
so
No, I
rattled.
cannot have patience.
Hear my answer,
This
my dear
man-
friend. Thank
this
you.
man
Thank you,
is
Anand sir.
speaking
The fact is,
against
be
my army.
Praniti Shinde or any leader of the Congress party, I believe that Mr. Rahul Gandhi must and should make an example out of them because he's lost his grandmother and his respective father for the country. So therefore, I urge Mr. Rahul Gandhi and the President,
Because
Mr.
of
Mallikarjun
intelligence
Kharge,
failure
to
and
take
security
a
failure of the
decisive
Congress
step on
government.
this
Do
so
not
that the
eulogize
likes of
that.
Imran Masood or a Shinde or a Prithviraj Chavan do not dare to make a statement against our country and our Indian army. The fact they need lessons on this is absolutely unfair and unfortunate. And here Pradeep Bhandari acts like a kid interrupting me. Sir, you're a national spokesperson. You're not a kid in a kindergarten
You are
who
acting
loves
like
to
a
interrupt
troll.
and fight.
A troll who
This
studies
is
in a
unfortunate.
madrasa
Okay.
and
Because I'm
cannot-
exposing
now-
you.
cannot speak
now-
truth.
What madrasa?
That
No.
is your problem.
What
Okay,
madrasa are
okay,
you
no,
saying?
no,
Where is
one minute,
madrasa
one minute.
into this?
No,
Have some sense when you speak, my friend.
No, 1 minute.
This
It's
is
not,
unfortunate.
One
This is not
minute.
the way you
One-
debate.
1 minute. 1 minute. The point is, it's not the way the oldest political party in our country conducts itself, or the offshoot of the oldest political party. Because what we see as the International Congress today is the Congress I or Congress Indira, but it is an offshoot of the oldest Congress party that was formed by A.O. Hume back in the 19th century. But more importantly, that's not how a nation or party that claims to have given its blood, sweat and toil and contributed immensely to Bharat's Swatantrata Abhiyan turns around and compromises its own swa and compromises its own integrity and sovereignty by not taking action against leaders like Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, a tall Congress leader from the state of Maharashtra, a close confidant of the top leadership in Delhi of the Congress party, a former chief minister of Maharashtra, and someone who has ears of the top leadership. He's also been the head of the Pradesh Congress committee in the past. So this is no ordinary bloke who's sitting there and making a comment. He's somebody who spent more than 4 decades plus in politics and in public life. So that's where it is. But and somewhere an example needs to be made out of people who compromise the country from within. These are the termites who are hurting the nation from within. These are the people who vilify and who somewhere I don't even know what word to use. I don't want to use an unparliamentary word, but who somewhere belittle the service that is rendered by those personnel in uniform for our country. They don't even know, sir. They don't even know how many people it takes to fire an L-70. They don't even know what is the deployment and how many people who are braving this winter to try and protect us at Siachen. They don't even know how many people are there along our eastern borders, along the LAC, trying to ensure to try and push the enemy back there. They don't know, sir. And that's travesty. All these people should be packed off and put for 2 weeks right on the front lines. They should wake up, they should sleep, they should eat, they should drink only bullets from the enemy all the time. That's when they will realize what it takes to be a soldier and what it takes to commit yourself to the country. Sadly, they don't know. And that's why they can be so flippant and pass such comments. It's a travesty. I have to wind up. I thank you. Thank you, General Pandey, for joining us. Thank you for your passionate delivery and thank you for putting that sentiment that every Bharatiya echoes with you. Pradeep Bhandari and Syed Asad Abbas, thank you very much. We've got more news coming through. News 18 has confronted the Luthra brothers. These fugitives, these criminals who ran away trying to evade the law after being on the run for 10 days, the Luthras dragged back to Delhi. News 18 is the only channel to question the Luthras. Listen in.
Why did you run away to Thailand? Tell us. Why did you evade investigation? Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you flee to Thailand? Why did you? Why did you run away to Thailand?
कल दूसरा भी पीछे आवा
Why did you run away to Thailand? Tell us. Why did you evade investigation? Run away to Thailand. Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you flee to Thailand? Why did you? Why did you run away to Thailand?
कल दूसरा भी पीछे आवा
Ananya Bhatnagar asking those questions for News 18. Ananya, what was the reaction of the Luthra brothers? Tongue-tied today?
Well, absolutely tight-lipped, and in fact, somebody who had seems to be having no remorse. They just evaded those questions, went towards the court. The police took them away. But very clearly, this seems kind of no kind of a remorse. They could have at least said sorry or said something at least, but they went straight to the court, hiding their faces. And very clearly, Anand, this is in fact a proceeding that is continuing before the Patiala House Court. The Goa police would be seeking their transit remand and would be taking them to, in fact, Goa in order to face the prosecution as far as this case under the charges, stringent charges of culpable homicide is concerned. When the anticipatory bail was denied, it was very categorically noted by the Delhi court that, these are people who can actually flee the country. Their conduct is not very good and the charges against them are very serious in nature.
What's going to happen next? How long are they going to be in court? And is there any way they're going to be going back to Goa tonight, or is it going to be tomorrow morning now? Or does that depend on the judge and the transit remand?
Well, the transit remand could be granted anytime soon. The proceedings have already, begun almost 10 to 15 minutes back. And we might see that an order would come in the next 1 or 2 hours. And most likely they could be, granted a transit remand today itself, and probably tonight or tomorrow morning is when these people could actually be taken back to Goa and then be produced before a Goa court, where a proper police custody remand of these accused persons could actually be sought, and further investigation and interrogation in this case could actually continue. In fact, if I could show you, these are the cars in which, in fact, these two brothers were actually brought in. This is one of the cars wherein one of those brothers were actually brought in. We are at the Patiala House Court, where all of this action is continuing, and we'll get all updates for our viewers as far as what is the custody and how much of custody is actually sought by the Goa police.
Right, just playing out the whole sequence before we exit the story. Thank you for that, Ananya. Great work done.
Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you flee to Thailand? Why did you? Why did you run away to Thailand?
कल दूसरा भी पीछे आवा
Why did you run away to Thailand? Tell us. Why did you evade investigation? Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you run away to Thailand? Why did you flee to Thailand? Why did you? Why did you run away to Thailand?
We're quickly shifting focus. Actor turned politician Vijay's rise in Tamil Nadu politics has gathered momentum amid controversy, placing him at the center of the state's evolving electoral narrative ahead of the assembly elections. The launch of his party, the Tamilaga Vetri Karagam, marked his formal entry into politics, with Vijay projecting himself as an alternative to both the ruling DMK and the national parties, along with the AIDMK. So the Dravidian parties and the ruling and the national party, he thought he's the alternative, banking heavily on youth support and anti-establishment sentiment. However, his political push faced a serious biggest test after the Karur stampede during a TVK event, which resulted in multiple deaths and injuries. The tragedy triggered sharp political attacks from rival parties, questions over organizational preparedness, and police action against the party functionaries. Vijay responded by initially suspending large public rallies, offering compensation to victims' families, and recalibrating his campaign with smaller, controlled meetings. While critics said the incident exposed the risks of personality-driven mobilization, supporters argued it humanized Vijay and strengthened his resolve to pursue politics more seriously. Vijay saw a massive turnout in Puducherry, his first rally after stampede, and seeks to consolidate his political footing. However, the broader political climate in Tamil Nadu has been further charged with the Karthigai Deepam controversy, and the dispute over lighting of the ceremonial Deepam at Thiruparankuntram Hill has escalated into a major flashpoint between the DMK, the state that is the ruling state government, and the BJP, with accusations of religious discrimination, counterclaims of maintaining law and order, and court interventions adding to the tension. The AIDMK has also targeted the DMK on this matter. The issue has sharpened ideological divides, with BJP attempting to mobilize religious sentiment and the DMK defending its secular stance. Let's try and go across to our guests, because after the Karur stampede on Thursday, Vijay is going to address a rally in E Road. The Deepam controversy has now the Dargah, Sikandar Dargah members coming out and saying we don't have an issue, even as the Tamil Nadu Waqf Board claims that the land on which the pillar stands belongs to the Waqf Board. Shekhar Iyer with us, Sumant Raman with us, Vivek Narayan, Managing Editor South of News 18 with us, and so is Purnima. My namaste to everybody. Vivek, how do you see this scenario? Is there going to be pressure on that Vijay? Is he a force to reckon with? And interestingly, even as he addresses the rally in E Road, he's never spoken on the Karthigai Deepam issue.
Exactly. Karthigai Deepam is one issue which has got both the AIDMK and Vijay on the back foot. AIDMK has made some peripheral remarks on that, but Vijay is very keen on the minority votes, and he would not want to isolate his Hindu voters also. So that is kind of stumped. Two parties which are quite happy with the way things are happening, at least in terms of public perception, is BJP and DMK. They are both digging in their heels and standing by what their stated positions are. So how Vijay will go as goes ahead, as issues move ahead. If you look at the Vijay issue, well, he is certainly a big factor to reckon with. 41 deaths within a month. He meets 36 families out of that 41 deaths. He meets them, he touches their feet, he cries, he gives them compensation. All of them come out satisfied with his reply. And remember, public memory is usually short, Anand, whether we like it or not, whether it sounds insensitive. Good 5 months to go for elections, and Vijay, I think, will spring up a surprise for everybody who is trying to underplay his importance, Anand.
But where does this lead? Where do things open up? Now, with the Sikandar Dargah members saying they don't have an issue, who's actually raking this up? Because moving impeachment against the judge, the DMK taking a totally variant position rather than implementing court orders. What's playing out here, Vivek? Quickly before we go to the others. Yeah.
Anand, Anand, what G.R. Swaminathan's verdict, it was very clear that he said that in the 0.33 acres that the mosque has, that the Dargah has, the Deepathoon or the Deepastambha was not part of that area. Today, perhaps for the first time, those appearing for the Dargah have maintained that no, the entire region, including the place where the Deepathoon stands, belongs to the Dargah area. Now, this is becoming all the more complicated as we go ahead. Remember the general mood. I mean, I was in that general location there, and also one more thing. They have said that it is not a Hindu structure out there. It's a Jain structure, and it is not right for the Hindu parties to claim ownership of the entire property. So again, you have three religions which have got into it. So it's all getting muddled, it's all getting complicated. But I was just mentioning, if you go to Madurai, if you go to that region, all the three communities, the Jains hardly exist there, there aren't too many there. Even the Muslim are not as much as in another location like Ayodhya. You may not have as much people in that disputed area. Here, there is complete coexistence. They live in harmony out there. But they claim that the Deepathoon is now a part of where, as the lawyer himself said, quote unquote, Mohammedan property. This is where it may get further complicated. Anand.
Purnima, how do you see this panning out? And is Vijay going to be a stronger factor now? Or is there a reason why he's not taken a position on the Karthikeya Deepam?
Well, in fact, one of the spokespersons of TVK had said that the matter is sub judice and also lashed out at the DMK saying that despite the Madurai bench order, the Tamil Nadu government had defied the order. So they in fact questioned that. That was one of the spokespersons who had spoken to the media, but no official statement from Vijay or senior leaders of the TVK. And this issue is being raised by not just the DMK but also the BJP. Even as this issue is snowballing, TVK remains silent. They are only focusing on the rally because whether they've learnt lessons, whether they've taken precautionary measures, all eyes on that, and whether Vijay will take a stance on the Tirupurukundram issue, because that's one of the issues that continues to snowball even as the Madurai bench hears the case. We'll have to wait and see if Vijay speaks on this matter in the E-Road rally, which is scheduled for the 18th of December.
Sumant Raman, Shekhar Iyer, your thoughts, Sumant Raman?
Yeah, I think obviously the DMK government would like to pander to their minority vote bank, and that is the reason for this entire issue. But as far as the Tirupurukundram is concerned, but as far as Vijay's silence goes, he's caught between a rock and a hard place. He cannot openly, say that the Deepam cannot be lit, because that could antagonize a sizable section of the Hindu community. And at the same time, see, the point is, on the ground, he is attracting a very large, sizable chunk of the minority vote, particularly the Christian vote. Not so much the Muslim vote, but the Christian vote. And the fact that he would not want to be seen as supporting, having identified the BJP as his ideological enemy, he will not want to be seen supporting the the BJP's position. So why the AIADMK, for instance, has actually come out fairly openly taking the the position against the DMK government, and also supporting the Hindu position on this, though they were slow off the blocks. And even now, there's a little bit of waffling on the issue, as Vivek said. But they have actually come out and said that, the court order should be implemented in categorical terms.
Right.
For Vijay, it's a problem. Maybe we'll get a clue tomorrow when the meeting happens at E-Road. Then we may get an idea. Is he going to speak about this? Is he going to pretend that it doesn't exist like he has so far? That's a query. But one point I want to make. His team, Vijay's team, have also been very keen to sort of avoid this issue. Only person in his team who's actually spoken out is one of his deputy general secretaries, a gent called CTR Nirmal Kumar, who came out with a kind of, again, a waffling statement. Court orders should be done, but harmony should be maintained, which could mean anything to anybody.
Yeah, so that means that it's not about taking the BJP position, it's about taking the position of a large number of devotees of Tirupurukundram and to follow the orders of the court. Shekhar Iyer, once a court has ordered, what is the position of the judiciary? Why is Vijay not turning around and saying, how can the state defy the judiciary and impeach the judge for passing an order rather than challenge it in a higher court? That's a position that was convenient for him to take. He didn't take that either.
No, Anand, this whole issue got hyped because the DMK felt that they need to create such a fear psychosis among particularly their Muslim supporters, so that they are the only protectors who can prevent a future Ayodhya Babri, quote unquote. It is they who hyped it up because they feared, with Christian voters already appearing to be more with Vijay, so it is this Muslim vote base which they must somehow retain. That is why this was hyped up. As you mentioned in the opening remarks, see, none of the Muslim organization objected to the lamp being lit.
Correct.
And also you notice one thing, now they are saying it was used, see, the first response of the Tamil Nadu, the Hindu Endowment Department was, this is not a lamp pillar at all. This is not the Deepathoon. This is simply a survey pillar. Now they are saying it is a Jain monks used to go there for their meditation and they used to light lamps. See, the whole idea of the DMK is to keep this hype. So in continuation with that hype, they brought this impeachment business made a villain out of a judge who had only given an interim order that let 5 people be allowed to lit the lamp. So the DMK's position is somehow keep up this fire so that the Muslims don't get attracted to Vijay, because they see the DMK as the savior. That the bigger worry for the DMK is, Anand, they have been getting reports that largely women voters are also shifting, irrespective of the caste or the community. That is also worrying them. See, that's a big worry. And for Vijay himself, he would not like to speak on this for the simple reason he knows he has this support among women and youth, and he doesn't want to get into this Muslim Christian thing.
No, the point is that he should talk about what is, he said we'll uphold the constitution and we'll do what is right by the law of the land. So a simple position of trying to uphold the judiciary and the judges and implement a judge's order is not complicated. Go by the judgment, that's all, and maintain harmony. He could have absolute clarity in terms of statement, and he would have perhaps sidestepped all these hurdles and all these perhaps curveballs. But he's not done. He's not done that so far. This also merits a larger question, a larger conversation around Tamil Nadu and Tamil Nadu politics. We promise our viewers that very, very soon. Hopefully by this weekend. Vivek Narayan, Purnima, Shekhar Iyer and also Sumant Raman. Looking forward to you joining us again and when we have that conversation. Thank you very, very much. Namaste. Thank you.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
So let's open this up. Savio Rodriguez, senior journalist, is now joining with us. Shashikant, former IPS, and Ashutosh Srivastav, lawyer with the Supreme Court, is with us as well. We, of course, will be joined in by our colleagues who are getting us details of what exactly is transpiring. Those are the visuals of the Luthra brothers, Saurav and Gaurav, who have now been brought to Delhi. They eventually will be taken to Goa, where the cases against them are piling up, and so is the proof. But Savio, let me ask you this. You know, this is part of a problem. It's not the only problem that we're looking at, because yes, these two individuals will come now and face the law, but that is just the tip of the iceberg. The problem is also that they were allowed to function the way they did, and that's something that needs to be looked at too.
The larger problem, which I would like to tell your viewers and the panelists, is that the concept of nightclub is legally alien to Goa. What they do issue are bar and restaurant licenses. Yet, over a period of the last several years, there have been nightclubs mushrooming in Goa without being legal at all. So there is no legal framework for a nightclub. Every single nightclub in Goa is illegal. Now, the local media and the audit team have been conducting a search of all the nightclubs in Goa over the last couple of days post the incident, you know. And interestingly, and also sadly, both, you've got 157 clubs that the High Court had even passed an order a couple of years ago. And out of that 157, only 117 of them have no permissions whatsoever. No permissions at all. The remaining ones of the 157 might have 1 or 2 permissions, but not all permissions. So all 157 of them do not have all permissions at all. So what do you really have in Goa? And I support the government, and you know, which is completely surprised me, that it is such a mess. A complete mess. The genesis of the Arpora tragedy starts at the village panchayat level. Now, you have mentioned about demolition. The demolition order given by the village panchayat was in the month of December 2023. We are in December 2025. That same note that you read out, the letter that you read out, says 15 days. It's been over 2 years and they have not even acted on the demolition notice that they have issued. It goes to show the amount of corruption in the system right from the village panchayat level and going all the way on top, because I'm not willing to accept that the leaders on top or the political influencers on top or the bureaucratic level on top do not have a pie in this mess of corruption. We had put out an interview of an ex-officer, a former government officer, today on the Goa Chronicle. In that interview, the ex-officer tells us that in this area of nightclubs, the monthly kickbacks are between 10 lakhs to 25 lakhs a month. Now let's assume for a moment we are talking about 157 structures. Multiply that into the minimum of 10 lakhs. That's the kind of kickbacks they're getting on a monthly basis. That's huge. It's a massive corruption that is there, and it has shocked everyone in Goa. And so, for me, as a journalist and somebody who supports the BJP, I am asking questions of the chief minister because the fire department, the excise department, the police, the Goa Coastal Regulation Authority all come under the chief minister. So somebody's got to answer